Who's down for making some lineups? As you know, if you come this far. Pulled down a nice win this weekend. The Lions and the Bills. With my system, because I was doing the subscriptions all year and I was miserable. And to be honest, I was ready to just quit football, jump into hockey, and say, fuck it. And then I pulled off a win just when I thought I was out. They pull me back in. Let's spend that money back as fast as possible. Let's build up the bankroll. Let's get back in the trenches while we got all the money in the big games. We got to try and build some money with some of the little games, the $1 games, perfect our 20 lineup construction in every single 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock possible fucking game possible, just like I did in baseball, just like I'll do in football. Bada bing, bada boom, let's do this shit. Bengals, Titans. It's a good G on the line here. From what I hear, Jamar Chase is out. Right now they have him at the questionable. I heard that motherfucker ain't playing. Joe Mixon had all those points all those weeks ago, and everybody's been jumping on his fucking train, and he hasn't done shit since. This really is just a what have you done for me lately fucking league. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. Da-da. Samaji P. Ryan. Will he be the big star of the day? Will it be Treylon Burks? It was a pretty damn good superstar in the game I recently went to at Lambeau Field. I hate the name drop, but I will. Once I finish my 50-state safari, I'm going to do a football safari. Hayden Hurst. Nathan Westbrook Bikini. Nathan Westbrook Bikini Meanie. This fucking guy loves talking on the phone. My fucking neighbor yaps on the goddamn phone on his fucking terrace all goddamn day. He's a nice guy, but Jesus Christ, I think he's homesick. Arabian millionaire, I think. Evan McPherson. Hey, Charles Shudak. Never heard of that fucking guy. Reggie Bullock is out. You gotta find out why. It's important. Every story that's recent is important. It factors into our lineup construction. I've beaten my OCD of having to read even the old stories. I say to myself, it's over a week old. Unless that team was on a fucking bye week, don't read it. Sometimes, like, I want to. So we'll see. Maybe you fight the urge. Maybe you just say fuck it and embrace the urge. Austin Hooper. Titans D. Check on Titan. Brought to you by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. All right. Got a $17,000 deficit here. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about this fucking deficit? This fucking debt we're in. We're in $17,000 worth of debt in order to get this team on the field. Derrick Henry rushed 28 times for 87 yards and a touchdown, brought in both targets of 45 yards, and completed 2 pass attempts for 4 yards and a touchdown. The Titans win over the Packers on Thursday night. Dontrell Hilliard was the only other back to register a carry for the Titans on the night, and he logged exactly 1 rushing attempt. That equated to a particularly busy night for Henry, who logged just a combined 36 carries in the previous pair of games. Henry also made impressive contributions through the air as both a passer and receiver, throwing a 3-yard jump touchdown pass to Austin Hooper just past the halfway point of the third quarter and recording a 42-yard reception as well. Henry crossed the 1,000-yard mark on the ground for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons with Thursday's effort, and his next chance to build on his already impressive numbers comes in a Week 10 12. Home battle against the Bengals a week from Sunday. Chase isn't in line to play Sunday at Tennessee. Chase got back to the practice field this week in a limited fashion after missing the last 3 games due to a sore hip. While he hasn't officially been ruled out by the Bengals, Coach Zach Taylor said Friday that the wide receiver would be game time call. It appears Chase instead will return Week 13 against the Chiefs. In the end, the decision on Chase's status will be revealed about 90 minutes before the kickoff. He ain't fucking playing. Higgins caught 9 passes for 148 yards on 13 targets in Sunday's win over the Steelers. Higgins took a quarter to warm up, but once he got going, he was nearly impossible for the Steelers to stop. He briefly left the game after landing hard on his right hip before halftime. But he returned and played well in the second half. Well, he's a keeper. Crazy Joe, Crazy Joe, Crazy Joe Burrow was superb Sunday against the Steelers, completing 24 of 39 passes for 355 yards and 4 touchdowns. He did throw 2 tipped interceptions and was sacked twice. If there was a downside to Burrow's performance, it's that too many of his passes got tipped to the line of scrimmage, leading to 2 turnovers. But he overcame that to lead the Bengals on multiple long scoring drives, connecting for over 20 yards with 6 different pass catchers. A tough road matchup awaits at Tennessee, where Burrow was sacked 9 times in the playoffs last season. Shit. Ryan fucking Tannehill completed 22 of 27 passes for 333 yards with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception in the Titans' win over the Packers on Thursday night. He also netted -3 yards on 3 rushes. Tannehill was exceedingly sharp and vaulted over the 300-yard mark on his final completion of the night. A surprise 51-yarder to Traylon Burks down the left sideline against Jair Alexander just before the 2-minute warning. It put a fitting cap on a performance in which Tannehill averaged 12.3 yards per attempt while hitting 8 different pass catchers overall. Tannehill did take another 3 sacks, but his efficient play over the first 2 games back from his ankle injury arguably makes the Titans as dangerous a team as any in the AFC going into the stretch run of the campaign. Tannehill's next opportunity to build on his strong stretch of play comes in a Week 12 home matchup against the Bengals a week from Sunday. Joe Mixon punched a bitch in college. Head coach Zach Taylor said Mixon won't play Sunday against the Titans. As a result, look for Samaje Perine to lead the Bengals' Week 12 backfield, with Chris Evans and Travion Williams available to handle the change of pace roles. Mixon's next chance to suit up will arrive Week 13, when Cincinnati faces Kansas City at home. Well, we know Mixon's out, and we know Jamar Chase is out. But we want to keep all these gentlemen, don't we? All these boys scored some points. The core, ladies and gentlemen. The core, the core, the core. Let's do it all the way to the bottom of the barrel. Get it done early. Get it done fast. Asiasi, nothing. Kevin from Heaven Raider. Trenton Cannon. Morgan, old news. CJ Board, signed to the active roster ahead of Thursday's game against the Packers. Board was elevated from Tennessee's practice squad and handled punt returns during Sunday's win over the Broncos. While 28-year-old wideout did not see any action on offense versus Denver, he now appears set to fill the same special teams role against Green Bay in Thursday Night Football. Board could lose his job on punt returns once safety Amani Hooker, who was ruled out against the Packers, returns from a shoulder injury. I was there. It's cool to read about a game that you were at. Julius Chestnut. Dez Fitzpatrick. Torrey Carter. Old news. Chris Conley. Signed with the Titans practice squad. Good for you. Stay there. All right. Clark Harris. Nicky Bowers. Hey, Thomas Doikya. Cal Adamitis. Tommy Lassiter II. All right, now we got Mr. Chris Evans over here. Head coach Zach Taylor said Evans is good to go for Sunday's game against the Titans. Evans will return to the field for the first time since week 9, with his knee injury keeping him sidelined for the Bengals' last 2 games. Though he's seen most of his work on special teams this season, Evans could have more of a role on offense in week 12, while top pick Joe Mixon is sidelined. Samaje Perine is sidelined to pick up the start, while Evans could serve as the primary change of pace option behind him. The Bengals also have Travion Williams on hand for backfield depth, though he's more likely to be deployed as a runner than a pass catcher. All right, we're looking at Evans. Hassan Haskins is considered questionable to play Sunday against the Bengals. Haskins was a limited participant Thursday after popping up with a hip injury, though it's unclear whether the issue first arose. The 22-year-old running back remained limited during Friday's sessions, leaving his status for the Titans' Week 12 contest up in the air. Haskins has logged just 1 rushing attempt since carrying the ball a season-high 9 times Week 2 against Buffalo. He's primarily played on special teams over 10 times. Eh. Cody Hollister doesn't have an injury designation for Thursday's matchup against the Packers. Hollister was listed as a DNP on Monday and Tuesday's estimated walkthrough reports due to a back injury, but he was a full participant during Wednesday's practice and will be good to go for Thursday's contest. The reserve wideout has caught just 3 of 5 targets for 54 yards this season, but he's also a major contributor on special teams. Hmm. Drew Sample. Sorry, I'm incredibly high. You have to forgive me. There's a lot of cannabis in me blood right now. All right. Kyle Phillips, Coach Mike Vrabel said Tuesday he doesn't expect to see Phillips at practice this week ahead of Sunday's game versus Cincinnati. Although Phillips is now technically eligible to return from Tennessee's injured reserve list after spending 4 games there, it seems he'll probably have to wait until at least week 13 at Philadelphia to be activated. Even once he's back, the rookie fifth rounder doesn't have a clear path to consistent playing time, so as long as Robert Woods and Nick Westbrook-Akina remain healthy. Do do do. Do 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 do. All right. Wilcox played 15 of the Bengals' 50 snaps on offense in Monday's loss to the Browns, hauling in his lone target for a 3-yard gain. Wilcox has suited up for 8 of the Bengals' games this season, but his role on offense has been muted while he serves as the number 2 tight end behind starter Hayden Hurst. The 25-year-old has cleared 50% of the Bengals' offensive snaps on just 2 occasions and has cobbled together a modest 6.47-0 receiving line on the campaign. Travion Williams is expected to be active for Sunday's game against the Titans. With leadback Joe Mixon having ruled out for the Week 12 contest, Williams and Chris Evans are poised to serve as depth options behind Samaje Perine, who is expected to step into the starting role. Perine will most likely dominate the snaps and touches out of the backfield, though perhaps not to the extent of Mixon, who played at least 2/3 of the Bengals' offensive plays in every game until Week 11, when he exited the first half of a win over the Steelers after sustaining the concussion. Mixon's absence should pave the way for Evans and Williams to both have roles on offense, albeit as change-of-pace options behind Perine. Evans likely represents a better bet to relieve Perine on passing downs, while Williams could sub in for Perine in short yardage or more obvious running situations. Williams suited up for just the second time all season in the win over Pittsburgh, carrying 2 times for 7 yards while failing to secure his only target. I like Evans better than Williams. Geoff Swain failed to record a catch on his only target in Sunday's win over Denver. Old fucking news. Trent Taylor, old news. Chig Okonkwo, old news. Trenton Irwin, signed to the active roster of the practice squad Tuesday. Irwin received his 3rd elevation of the season prior to Cincinnati's win over Pittsburgh, and he tallied 3 catches on 4 targets at 42 yards in his first career touchdown. Really? He has now been rewarded for his solid play by being signed to the active roster, though his opportunities on offense may decrease if Jamar Chase is able to return to action week 12, which he's not. Holy shit. Trenton Irwin. Who was the $200 guy we like? Chris Evans. Where are you, Chris? There he is, Chris Evans. Diabolical. The sleeper, Trenton Irwin, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Jamar Chase, we're pulling your ass out. I'm going to put Trenton Irwin in just to be fucking nuts. We're going to pull out Mixon. With 6 Gs left, what do we got? We go Hayden Hurst, and we go one of the kickers, which would be McPherson. So McPherson's our option here, but let's go downward, see if any of these gentlemen are better. Hayden Hurst had 2 catches with 28 yards on 3 targets in Sunday's win over the Steelers. Hurst had his 2 catches early in the game before quarterback Joe Burrow started finding his wideouts more often than later on. Hurst faces a Titans defense next week that has not allowed just 2 touchdowns to tight ends so far this season. That ain't promising. Nathan Westbrook-Akina tallied 2 catches on 2 targets at 28 yards in Thursday's win over the Packers. Westbrook-Akina entered the game with inconsistent involvement in the Tennessee offense. The return of Treylon Burks pushed Westbrook-Akina only further down the depth chart. He's now seen 2 or fewer targets in 4 of the last 5 games and has topped 30 yards only once in the same span. Fuck him. Dontrell Hilliard ran the ball once for 4 yards in Thursday's win over the Packers. He added 1 reception for 14 yards and a touchdown. Hilliard saw only 2 touches, each of which came from the Titans' first 2 offensive possessions. However, he made good use of his limited opportunity by finding the end zone of a 14-yard reception to cap Tennessee's first drive. Hilliard now has 4 touchdowns on the season despite racking up only 19 rushing attempts and 16 catches across 9 games. Interesting. Got in the end zone. He got in the end zone. Big game. Get him to spell Henry or McPherson. McPherson nailed all 3 field goal attempts, including 1 from 54 yards, along with the 4 extra point tries in the Bengals win over the Steelers in Week 11. McPherson has been slumping in recent games, but he turned it around Sunday in a tough Heinz Field, battling with some wind to boot. What's our weather looking like? Clouds? I need you, McPherson. McPherson's my man. All right. Let's do this. Lose Chase. Lose Mixon. What do you got? It's Trenton Irwin. Seems like he's just ripe to be our fucking sleeper right there. And Chris Evans. Where's Chris Evans hiding? Why is Chris Evans hiding? There he is. Captain America. There he is. T. Higgins, all right. Pull Chase. Pull Mixon. You got cash to play with here. What do we got? It really just comes down to, again, this really odd gap in the defense. So we leave the cash on the table. We take the fucking chunk, man. We take the fucking ballers. Tannehill, a captain. Lose Chase. Lose Mixon. So we can't even get the Titans defense. So again, we go Irwin and Evans. Going with the core as opposed to spreading it all out with all the cards all over the fucking place. Put this bad boy to the back of the line. Oh, you fucking cunt. That's how you want to do it, fine. We're going to put Evans in. Put Evans in a captain. Tyler Boyd or Treylon Burks. Here we go. Tyler Boyd had 2 catches for 42 yards on 7 targets in Sunday's win over the Steelers. Boyd lined up frequently on the outside instead of in the slot, and that might have hurt his output. He did have 2 pretty catches in the second half as the Bengals were trying to extend the narrow lead. See if Jamar Chase can return this week against Tennessee, and if so, how that impacts Boyd's targets. And we got Treylon Burks. Oh shit. Brought in 7 of 8 targets for 111 yards, and the Titans win over the Packers Thursday night. I was there. I saw it. He was awesome. The rookie's night was shaping up fairly average from a yardage perspective before he recorded a 51-yard grab down the sideline against Jair Alexander just before the 2-minute warning to seal the game for the Titans. Thanks to that play, Burks led Tennessee in receptions, receiving yards, and targets, and he's now drawn 14 looks over the first 2 games back from a stint on IR with foot and toe injuries. Burks' next opportunity to build on that solid rookie campaign comes in a Week 12 home matchup against the Bengals. A week from Sunday. Get your ass in that lineup. Boosh. Bosh. Some of that bish. Samaji Perine is poised to serve as the Bengals' starting running back Sunday against the Titans, with Joe Mixon ruled out for the contest. Job Hobson of the Bengals official site adds that Chris Evans and Travion Williams are candidates to see expanded roles with Mixon out for the lineup, but Perine profiles as the top option to replace Mixon as the team's lead man in the backfield. Sunday, after Mixon's exit early in the Bengals' win over the Steelers in Week 11, Perine recorded 11 carries for 30 yards and caught all 4 of his targets for 52 yards and 3 fucking touchdowns. Welcome, Mr. Perine. So we got to lose somebody here, so we're going to lose Tannehill. We can grab McPherson. We can't get Nathan Westbrook Akina. We grab McPherson. And spell you with Evans. Perfect. Definitely got to get more Perine in here. Shit. Boyd. Let's mix in some more Perine. Pull Tannehill. Unfortunately, that's not going to be enough. So pull Perine. Actually, keep Perine, pull Higgins. Let's get in Burks. Oh, and Irwin. Fuck yeah. Smash! All right. We got Burks in there. Let's get Chase out, but unfortunately, we still need to drop another 12. So we're going to drop either Burrow. We got Burks in there. Got to keep him connected to Tannehill. Son of a bitch. This is a tough call. If him and Burks are hooking up, you want to keep Burks. So we'll pull Burrow. Grab Perine. Who's Chig? 1 reception on 3 targets, 48 yards, and lost to the Chiefs. Ogankwo got off to a hot start. He recorded his lone catch on a quick screen in Tennessee's first play from scrimmage. Despite the hot start, he only saw 18 offensive snaps, his lowest total since the team's bye in Week 6. Ogankwo has 6 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown across the first 8 games of his career. No, I like Perine and Evans together. Keep the core, baby. Keep the core. Robert Woods. Brought in 6 of 7 targets with 69 yards, and the Titans win over the Packers on Thursday night. Woods finished second to Travion Burks in receptions, receiving yards, and targets on the night, posting a season high in catches along the way. The veteran wideout has mostly filled in a short area role during his brief Titans tenure thus far, but he could be a beneficiary of the increased defensive attention Burks should start receiving from opposing defenses down the stretch. All right, so we lose Chase. Still not enough. Get in Perine. Pull out Higgins for Evans. All right. Perfect. Keep Hurst, just pull Chase, and everybody gets to stay. If Chris Evans has a big fucking game, we are due for some cash. Right. Nathan Westbrook Akina is our captain. We pull Chase. Who do we get? Chris Evans, a gate. Essentially, we just start getting better options on the 6 card. Dontrell Hilliard in the captain spot. We don't. I'm going to give Chicagonko one shot here. Otherwise, if I ignore him, the fucking guy will get in the end zone and I'll shoot myself in the fucking head. At least I got him in one lineup. Again, we pull Chase for McPherson with 2,000 left over here. What do we get? Irwin. We're big Irwin fucking backers here. Hoping this fucker breaks away again in the absence of Jamar Chase and blows shit up. Shudak. Activated from the reserve PUP list Saturday. An undrafted rookie signing of Titans back in May. Shudak suffered an unknown injury near the end of the offseason program in mid-June and has been resided on the PUP list since the early days of training camp. However, the team designated him for return Tuesday, and with Randy Bullock ruled out as of this Saturday, Shudak will serve as Tennessee's kicker Sunday against the Bengals. In his final season at Iowa, Shudak made 24 of 28 field goal attempts in all 36 point-after tries. Lose. Irwin, bang. Irwin for Chase. Even swap. Bullock. Ruled out for Sunday's game versus the Bengals. Bullock injured his right calf during pregame warm-ups Week 10 against the Broncos. And while he made his only field goal attempt and point-after tries in the game, he hasn't played in the meantime. Josh Lambo filled in for him Week 11 at Green Bay, but he was waived Monday before the Titans designated Caleb Shudak for return from the PUP list. Now that Shudak has been activated as of Saturday, he'll handle kicking duties for the team until Bullock is healthy enough to do so. Well, well, well. Mr. Bullock. So that's Irwin. So this would belong to Chig. I don't know about Chig, but I know this. We've been ignoring Travion Williams. Tyler Boyd or trade with Burks. Burks over fucking Boyd any goddamn day. So now if Williams blows up, I'm protected for $1. It's an insurance policy. Oh, we ran this lineup already. So I'll go get P. Ryan instead. Cut Tannehill for Burks. Much more interesting. We're expecting a lot of this Trent Irwin motherfucker. We just keep running his ass in there. Count on Trent Irwin to be our sleeper. Austin Hooper. Brought in all 4 targets for 36 yards and 2 touchdowns in the Titans' win over the Packers on Thursday night. A veteran tight end's tenure in Tennessee had mostly been a disappointment until Week 7, when Hooper started an upward trajectory that culminated with the first pair of scoring grabs as a Titan. Hooper's first touchdown reception came on a nifty 3-yard jump pass from Derrick Henry, and the second was a 16-yard grab on the first play of the fourth quarter that closed out the scoring of the night. Hooper now has a 15-172-2 line over the last 5 games. Numbers he'll have to take a chance to build on in a Week 12 home contest versus the Bengals a week from Sunday. Sunday, bloody Sunday. It always comes down to Irwin for Chase. Bengals D. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. May fate and faith decide your fortune, and if you should win, lower your money right here on the new Faro's Lounge Kickstarter. That is it for now. That is all the damn lineups. I believe, yes, we've done all the 1 o'clock games, all the 4 o'clock games. Let's check if there's any lineup news while we're here. Fuck it. Anything new on Terrence Marshall Jr. today? Nothing. That's yesterday's news report. Looking for any cues that changed. Oh, we did that today. Kind of looking for those night games. We got the big money on the line. Something by accident here. Johnson. Logan Thomas. What's going on with this asshole? Still old news from yesterday. Dortch. Still old news from yesterday. That seems like new. Nope. We're good. Well, Bebo Samuel. Let's see what's going on. Still old news from yesterday. Well, unfortunately, I don't think we're getting any new news today. Saturday, let these gentlemen have lives. That's it for me. Peace, love, war, all that other shit in between.